All right, guys, so we're going to be drinking wine today. Let me go get it. I hope you guys drink wine.
Yeah, water for me.
Red, sweet. I think we have sweet red wine today. And my friend, Tumi Akinola of Isivini Wines, sent this over. I think this is Jam Jar sparkling sweet red wine. So let's have a conversation over wine.
Show them now, show them. Jam Jar,
Jam Jar.
Oh, sparkling now. I'll drink that.
You drink a sparkling wine?
Sparkling.
Yeah, sparkling wine. So we're just gonna have like real conversations over wine. We good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi guys, you're welcome back to our Creative Journey podcast. My name is Foza and I'm going to be speaking to the very best of women in the creative industry. And today I'm speaking with some very, very special friends of mine. And we're going to be discussing how we navigate our emotional and mental health in the creative industry. The first person I'm introducing you to, I call her Sweet Potato Imoh. Imoh Sweet Potato. Welcome, Imoh. Lovely to meet you. And my next guest, she is a firecracker, like a firebrand. Like I call her Fade baby. She calls me Fozy baby. Welcome, Fade. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
And my last guest, but not the least, is the beautiful Steph. Steph is, I call her the stiffer. If Steph wants to get a deal from you, she's gonna get that deal.
Hey.
Hi, so welcome, Steph.
Thanks for having
me. I'm gonna give them, a bit of time to introduce themselves. So Imoh, go. Introduce yourself to my audience, please.
So I'm Imoh Eboh. So if I call me Imoh Eboh, call me Imoh Potato. I'm an actor, basically. And there was something that my mother wanted me to do that I do very well. But I'm not ending from it yet. I'm going to end from it very soon. I am an international human connector. So I connect human beings across the world.
Oh, shit.
I connect human beings across the world. So she wanted me to be like an ambassador of Nigeria to another country or just an interpreter. But I'm like, I want to act, but I can do something else. Connect human beings across the world. I'm a Global Shipper alumna of the World Economic Forum. I'm presently a youth leader with University Mohammed Polytechnic in Morocco, Bangui. I also produce and I make people happy. So think about Sweet Potato. That's me. Very deep-rooted, African, sweet and fibrous. Healthy for you. So that's
Atta girl.
I love that. Like sweet potato is actually very healthy.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get fat.
it is.
But what about you? Give us this intro.
Hi, my name is Fadehan. Simply put, a multifaceted creative. I'm the CEO of What's New Media, a leading PR company, marketing manager, Tronic Music. And yeah, pretty much, man, just causing trouble in the industry, I guess.
Causing good trouble.
Good trouble.
And she makes you look good with the trouble.
Know what I mean?
Steph, baby.
What do I do? Hi, guys. My name is Steph. Professionals call me Stephanie.
Oof.
But I prefer Steph, just putting it out there. My friends call me STXO. I am a lot of things. Well, I am a music industry professional, just to put it in a nutshell. I major in music business management and also marketing and label services. I have more or less, I love entertainment, so I've also produced a movie before. Well, a series on YouTube.
Things like dope.
I'm a huge fan of Nollywood.
She actually really loves Nollywood.
I know everybody that there is to know. But probably I'm a talent manager. I am a business manager. Like Foza said, I can get you a deal for the right price.
Yeah.
And I also do label services with my company, Panda Entertainment. I own a label services company, by the way. Yeah.
You see the interesting thing is like I've told them when we discussed, I said don't be humble because these three they have the propensity to be very humble about what they do. And I'm just going to give you a bit of like, I'm going to hold you people's neck today and make sure that you tell people the real gist of what you've
We are
done.
giving them
Right? But just entering into the Imoh works in the film industry predominantly. And there was one time that I was reviewing a contract and they mentioned and said, you're going to do, it was a 360 episode series, right? And any of those African Magic series.
one of the
I was just reviewing the agreement and it was supposed to be 30K a day payment. No, 30K a month was the payment. And I was really arguing and telling the actor that you can't. She's like, Foza, man, just review it and just sign. Let's sign this thing and go. Oh, no. So the pay in the industry, I know, is like ridiculous. So how have you managed that? Because I know that you've done, a couple of series that has been like really big on like, how have you managed that in your life as an actor?
At the moment, I don't just earn from acting alone, because if you earn from acting alone, you're going to be hungry and your skin is not going to look like milk. So,
and it's expensive to maintain a skin like milk.
So, I also MC, I host red carpets, I moderate, I talk. So because I'm very conversational, I earn from talking. I earn from talking as well. Because the industry yet doesn't have so much for people who are upcoming, C-level, B-level. And I don't even know if we have A-list. I'm very sorry. We have actors that become very popular. And they're popular to a particular point, and then maybe brands call them, and then they become like, let me not just go beyond where it doesn't concern me. Now, as it concerns me, I know that we're not paid so well for us to live the lives that people imagine that we live. So we have to do other things, and that's how I manage. I do other things. I work. Actually, I started talking to some people in the music space. I would like to voice, because I know there are people who sing for people who actually sing and perform. So I would add that
to your portfolio.
Okay. So all those ladies that don't sound very well, I can help them sound well and earn from there. So yes, we have other streams of income.
So in the reason I asked that is because it's just like your finance is very based to your well-being emotionally and like mentally.
Yes.
Like in terms of like PR, right? First of all, in the industry, a lot of people don't know the difference between PR and marketing. So there's that struggle of when you now say, oh, your PR bill is, no, sorry, the bill is 3 million, the service charge is like 500K. Oh, but have I not paid the service charge with the 500K and stuff? So how have you navigated the finances in your aspect of the industry?
I just let people know that you have to pay. Let people know that you have to pay. Like, you can handle the conversations. I can always say, PR is easy. It's easy. It's not just to talk to the media to get your stuff up there. It's easy. But the difficult part is actually having the conversation. And if you feel like something that you can do, by all means, go ahead and do it. But I promise you that you might not get your content even after you pay. So, like, you're not just giving me money. You are paying for a service. And I just try to let people know that it's a service that I'm rendering. I will not be hungry, Sha, because I mean, PR is not like the only stream of income in the music space, thankfully. So if I delve into other things, I'll be fine. You're the one that is losing.
How many times out of 10 do you like close the deal to say, okay, this is with this approach of like, you have to pay whether you like it or not?
You know, some people don't want to pay, and that's okay. They'll go. But then I make efforts to like look into those releases, and I just see that you could have gotten decent placements for this at a very fair price. And do you get, like, you could have, but you didn't, and that's okay. And that's okay.
Your loss.
I just think, like, the importance of PR is what people don't know. When they start to see reasons why they should do it, then they'll get with it. But the people that are engaging, and it's yielding results.
That's interesting. My own question to Steph is quite different from our approach, because I know Steph, I've known Steph from TZA days, from when she started out, Interestingly, Steph and I share one mentor, Osage, together. And I knew when Steph started. So I saw Steph from being, that road manager to when Steph got a car to when Steph, and when Steph was now managing one of the biggest songs, one of the brains behind the biggest songs in Afrobeats at some point. So can you just give a summary of how your journey went from those level of financial success and how you kind of just helped yourself or figured out how to navigate those levels at different points?
I'll first of all put this out there. I didn't start making money. I'm 10 years deep in this industry and I didn't start making money up until my 6th year. Just putting it out there.
Oof. It's important to note that too.
Yeah, like I said, like I think I'm like 7 years and I started making money until like 5. Year 5.
Very, very, very. But when I first started again, I was coming from Ikorodu to Ikeja.
Ikorodu to Ikeja.
Yeah, my father built his house in Ikorodu for very long. I was entering public transport. So I said all this to say I didn't really have a lot. And my mom always thought that what I was doing was a hobby. So they were not, I think they were not supporting me, not because they didn't have the resources to, but it was just like, you want to be an adult, go and be an adult and come back. So luckily for me, the year before I started this music P, I worked at Multi-Choice and they paid me 30K every month. So I still
As NYSC or just normal salary?
No, normal salary.
After NYSC?
No, not even as NYSC, as an intern.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was great money at the time as an intern. And I was still getting my allowance at home as per I hadn't necessarily graduated yet. So I started working before I even graduated. So I was still getting, I still had all my money. So when I graduated, I never used to party or anything. So I had my monies. And when my parents were like, get a 9-to-5, get a job. My mom actually, because my dad supported. But my mom was like, get a 9-to-5, get money and everything. I was like, no. So I used all the monies I saved to just be going to my Ikeja. And when Ikorodu became kind of, violent, they gave me a car. So they gave me a car, they relocated, and that aided my finance again at the time. But it wasn't safe going from Ikorodu to the island or to Ikeja where we had, I think, the basement gig at the time and some events. So my next step was to squat. Still with my TZA salary, the small savings that I had saved, at least I was fueling my car. I had a beautiful boss. Sometimes we buy food for us. You get so. And then that happened for like 3 years back to back.
Wow.
The 4th year, Osage was like, Steph, you want to manage a producer? I said, yes. And I think that's part of the reasons I grew. It's a good and bad thing, but I never said no to work. So I didn't know what it was for me. I never had a client that I was handling by myself. All the clients that I worked with, Simaya, Reminis, I was still going to Osage to say, should I do this, should I not do this? So this producer was literally my first decision maker. Like anything I say goes. And then it took us 1 year of struggle, and then Love Wantinty picked.
Hallelujah.
I said 1 year of struggle, not that we're not making money, but it was Love Wantinty just picked. And I'm like, eh? So that was the year that I really, really said, I really, really believed that, okay, I'm working. You guess. Made a lot of money since then, dropped him, my company picked. It's just been from grace to grace to grace to grace to grace from that. So I hope I've answered your question.
Yeah, you have, because it's interesting because, when people see, like, you guys look amazing. Like, you look good, right? People just assume that we're from privileged homes. Your daddy gave you money. Somebody is financing that part. And I wanted like to highlight the fact that, because I know your stories. Like, I know where you've come from. I know what we've been through, and I wanted to just highlight that there, because it's also one of the biggest thing about emotional and mental health is deeply rooted in finances.
There's something that she said about, like, it's not like your parents not having, it's just them not believing. So why are they giving you that resource. You get, I mean, cars in my house. My father is not a poor man, by his grace. But for some reason, I was on buses to work.
Because your daddy wanted you to feel
I was
the.
on buses to work, and I remember when they banned Okada and I had to go to work. Because I've come out of my house where Go Okada is waiting for me, Zoom. I never walked anywhere. Literally, like I had a bike guy that would come into the estate. I paid the end at the estate gates, let this man, so he can just come and pick me and take me to the junction. And all of a sudden, he said, no more bikes. My means of livelihood.
So that's interesting. Let's segue
I think
into
we're also in a country that
See-
doesn't make it comfortable for us to live
comfortably.
because, I mean, when you travel, you know that you're walking out of the house.
You're going to the bus station.
Bus station
so
to the
humid
train.
for that.
And
It's
but
too humid.
the toxic waste will not
think-
let us breathe well.
Foza, I got to Sanfield, I cried.
How much tears?
I cried. I had to trek from Sanfield to Etimiyang.
Oh, that's one. I've trekked from Egbeda.
To me, it was a lot.
I trekked
At the time, it was a lot. I had just come back from Masters.
funny.
There was no reason
It's
why I was
funny.
under the sun like that.
I'll tell you, like, it's funny because I remember one time before Basement Gig, it was One Mic Niger, and me, it was just like my mom was not living in the country. I was the firstborn. My dad had died. Blah blah blah. I was living with my auntie, and I think that day maybe my change fell or someone stole money. I don't know what happened that day, but I was coming from One Mic Niger in the night, and I had to time it. Because I think that day, Wiz was at the events that day, Wiz and Skills. So I had to wait so that I could snap picture and just find a way to just insert myself. So I left there like 10:30.
Wow.
And by the time the bus now stopped at Egbeda, and I put her inside my pocket to bring change. Bro, I was begging that night. I was like, please, I'm not mad. You know, I just need money. And for me, when I got home that day, I cried so hard. And the reason I cried was because I was just like, I grew up in a house where we had two, housemaids, there were like 5 cars, everything. My dad was, then one day I just woke up, my dad had died. So it was just like a shift. Somehow you came from like a comfortable family, right? And you're just pushed into the world either because life happened
Of
or
course.
you did not believe in your dream or whatever. How did that like change or bring out certain emotions in you throughout your journey in the industry? It's like, were you angry? Were you like more determined? Were you resilient? How did walk me through that process?
So
Emotionally.
unlike two of them and you, I mean, when I heard Osagi, I'm like, what? Imoh? What? So I started early, then stopped for a long time and came back.
Why did you stop?
Different reasons. I finished from university. My mother is like, we've already paid school fees like this, so it's not like Rockefeller dropped money for us to go to university. We paid school fees for you to go and study international relations. So go and sit down in Abuja until you get that foreign affairs or ECOWAS job. So I was in Abuja for a long time. I'd started acting. I'd started trying to get into the industry a bit. So I was modeling with Tyler Faces, but she packed her load and went to America. So she's doing very well. Because at the time, makeup artists were not recognized.
thriving here.
So a lot of us went away when things were happening and people were digging their hands in the mud. So we had like Osagi, Illumina, that's Adora, and a number of people that I could have just said, let me act and let me see how they'll push me through. But I disappeared and people stayed back to work. So it's not like I was not working. I was working where I was. I was doing entertainment through being in a choir. A very good choir, by the way, in Abuja. And then working 3 months here, 4 months there, 1 year here, and yada yada. Then I came back like 7 years later to
7?
Yes, to go to acting school, Royal Art Academy. And then that was the beginning of my 4 years of ugly. I have something I call 4 years of ugly. So not because I was ugly, but the situation at the time, my dad was sick. He was going to the hospital, so I was going back and forth. So at this time, I still thought I was Rockefeller's daughter, teaching schools for free, doing stuff with orphanages. So people knew me as that girl who knows how to sing in choir and then teaches children for free. So I was popular for something else on like Facebook. We didn't have Instagram quickly. Instagram just came like in 2013, thereabouts. So 2013, 2014, 2015 was when I was trying to move back to Lagos and put myself in this space. And then I finally got into this space in 2018, for real. And that's when I started pushing myself. I'd done like maybe 2 scenes here, 1 scene there. But the real deal started happening from like 2018. And I had only 2 scenes inside the film, King of Boys 1.
And that was a big deal.
That was a big deal for me. That is still a big deal.
Was like, yeah, I'm just
Of
like,
course.
It's not a big deal for me. Like, I didn't even go for the premiere, not because I did
that was
not
a-
go,
that
but
was
I
a
was not
big movie.
invited. So that's how I was not... Nobody knew me.
Yeah.
But in my mind, I started when people like Osage just started. But Osage, these people are big deals. They're leading big things, Big Brother, like people that I used to see that time. I would go for... We had events like the Headies and Co. in 2008 in Abuja, where I was sitting in good places. Angel Eyes, I don't know if you know anybody called Angel Eyes. She used to be like a manager as well. So we had people like that, but I didn't follow through. So, I mean, for this quick advice, if you're starting out, stay there until you get it. Don't take a quick break.
Yep.
The quick break might last you for 10 years and then you start all over. I mean, I don't regret that because I learned a lot of lessons and I now know to let people know that, okay, you don't need to go through this phase. I know that people that will say, oh, you need to go through, you need to pay your dues. When people say pay your dues, run away. Work. I don't know about paying dues. I paid my dues, then I disappeared, came back again. I don't think people need to suffer. So don't go through that merry-go-round before you hit the nail on the head. I mean, now I'm doing well gradually. Not where I'm supposed to be, not where I think I'm supposed to be, but I'm grateful for where I am. Audition, know where you shouldn't be jumping around for auditions that don't make sense. Be strategic with what you're getting, and the sky is the beginning of everything for you.
so how did you navigate all that period emotionally? Because that's tough.
Yeah.
So how did you navigate emotionally?
So first of all, trying to get a job in the Nigerian civil service space is another hassle.
Oh, you've done civil service too?
I did not enter civil service because now you have to go to the Civil Service Commission. You have to fill a form. Like, the process is long. The people older than us were in that era of working from secondary school and then growing. You can even pay your school fees if you want to. So we were from the era of register with civil service, fill like plenty forms, go to your village, collect your certificate of being an indigene of
That
the local government of Akwa Ibom states in Nigeria. So all of those things, I filled all those forms, and then it came to the point where they said that the commissioner or whoever it was there, would need to be paid PR. It's not PR.
It's your own side of PR.
No, not that side of it. But we paid money to give you access to go and start from earning 80K. So you pay 500 to start earning 80K, then you grow through the ranks. So it didn't just make sense to me. No, not MMM. But you pay.
It might as well be.
No, you're bribing. So you're bribing.
It might as well be.
500K to earn 80K.
Yeah, so like you need to know somebody, and then even if people we knew, those ones too would just be giving you, oh, come
Make that
tomorrow,
money
I'll
back.
see you later. All those aunties that say finish from school, come back. Kiaka, some people will not even remember that they promised you anything 4 years ago when you were going to university. So it wasn't that easy to even enter civil service and join foreign affairs immediately without knowing the right person to help you get into it. I mean, even from NYSC placements. So things like that already started stressing me, and I was already getting used to. I was already going tough skin. So after that, I came to Lagos, quickly did High School Musical on stage, where we all paid 5,000 naira to audition and did not get paid for that job.
So you
So we had 2 shows. We opened Echo Hotel, that's the expo hall of Echo Hotel, because they used to have this restaurant on the side before they expanded the thing. So we opened the hall in 2010. And then that same period, I did Return of Jennifer 1. I sang one. I went to Abuja, came back, did Return of Jennifer 1 scene. And it was like a big deal for me at the time, but I didn't continue acting. Then in 2014, I came back, did Royal Arts Academy, then did some acting around that time, but I wasn't still seen. I don't know.
Must have been
So
stressed.
that
Yeah.
sounds like emotional stress.
Yeah, it was very, like, so when I blow, don't say one time wonder. I have worked.
So what, like,
I've worked. So all that trekking and bus that people are talking about, I have worked.
I love that because, like, everybody say that the person that becomes like successful is like 10 years of work behind the scene.
Yep.
I've known you from, I didn't know you, I knew of you from Bedu. Your timing will be like, the only person that can get this is like, is this Fadehan, is this Fadehan, is this Fadehan. Then you be like, you send the music to Fadehan and he doesn't get, oh, she's a bitch. Oh, she's annoying. Oh, she's this. That part of the industry is very stressful. How did you navigate, especially New Music Friday? How did you navigate your emotions in that period?
I'm going to say I'm thankful for information because when I was coming into this space, I was very informed. Like, nobody's your friend, just do what you need to do, focus on your job and whatnot. And thankfully, my dad is also somebody that is, his biggest word to us is focus. Because he just believes that if you are focused, you would do whatever it is that you set your mind to do and you will get it done. So I just think like that's the mindset I always had. My goal was to get the job done. And I think like that was it. I already knew that I was gonna have enemies and I was okay with it. Yeah, I just told myself that, see, you will not do what you cannot do. And I'm not going to make any promises that I'm not going to be able to keep. So the job, literally, there's requirements and there's facts. I'll tell you the requirements, I give you the facts, and I tell you to what extent I'm going to be able to help you. If you're okay with it, that's fine. If you're not okay with it, that's also okay. I know that a lot of people didn't like me. If there were even like any issue. I mean, it was obviously a brain tasking job because this person is begging for placement and just trying to like balance out how you are going to divide these placements rightly, and then you are dealing with your boss who is like going at you, fighting to sort it out. And it doesn't help for someone who doesn't like to necessarily address the emotional side of things. So everything was on me. Once you call him to say, displacement, that thing is, Fadehan will sort it out. So it was a lot. It was a lot. But I think like just blocking everyone out and focusing on what needed to be delivered really helped.
So Steph, for me, I know from when you had that success to when you ended that to start something new. What was the emotional period for you? Like, how were your emotions in that period?
So the thing about me is, I think I do not deal with the emotions as they happen. I just like to go. It's during my idle period or when everything just becomes overwhelming that I feel everything that I feel. So, but with this, the emotions, it was 4 years with this person. And it was 4 years of dealing with different emotions with this person. Like I said, this was my first direct client who, whatever this, if I say yes, yes goes. If I say no, no goes. So I literally had somebody's life in my hands. And then what happened for us. And it just became worse for me. It was as if I was seeing the red flags, and I was just letting it go because the business was more important to me, to be very honest. But during the last few months before everything just got dissolved, it was too much. I was still dealing with a constant case of, you're not doing anything for me, you're not pulling your weight.
4 years.
Yes, and I'm like, what's they really happen? Because part of the things that I don't joke with my job, as in, I can literally be stolen from today, or somebody will break my heart today, and tomorrow, once I just get a job, I've gone. So it's my job first in everything in my life. So I try not to allow anything destroy that. But during the last few months, it was just, you were still prodding at my integrity, at my hard work. I was like, you know what? Peace out. And it was a hard decision because in as much as that was my first talent, that was also my first direct success story. So I had this inkling of, what do I want to say? Who do I want to tell that I'm leaving a treasure chest for nothing? I just wanted to leave and
Because of your mental health.
I didn't know what was coming for me after. I just knew that I cannot be here. And then, as God will have it, about 2 months and some down the line, a new client just dropped on my lap, and I was like, okay then, God, let's go. And that made me feel a little bit better. But I don't know if anyone watching will understand what it feels like to actually water a plant. As in, you bought the plants, you bought all the ingredients, you watered this plant, you saw this plant flourish. And one day the plant just says, I'm going. You know, I'm like, God, it was painful. It was a painful decision. It still hurts me sometimes, but I'm in a much, much better place because God compensated me well.
That's interesting what Steph just said. I have to drink water to say my own side of the story because last year, I walked away of 10 years of my own life. Like, I literally woke up and I said, I can't work in this environment anymore. And everybody around me was like, are you crazy? You own the company. And I was like, yeah, but mentally, I'm out of here. And 90% everybody was telling me, this is such an emotional decision. You are emotionally erratic. You are da-da-da. And I'm just like, the same thing is like, do I want peace or do I want war? And for the first time in my life, I realized that peace of mind is so underrated. Like, even when I had the money, it wasn't interesting to spend it because it was just like, I'm looking over my shoulders, you know, my mind wasn't settled. And last year, in the last 2 years, I've had such an epiphany in terms of mental health. I know I tell people that one of the most interesting things, the first time I met Fade, and she was just like...
I was just going to say to you.
Yeah,
I was just going to say to you.
First time I met her, we started talking, then the next day she just switched off for like 2 days. And she came back and was like, yeah, I had to take time for myself. I was like, what? She's like, yeah, I didn't, like, I wanted to go and she called it some word, maybe, what did you call it?
I don't remember. I don't remember the
But she was just like, she wanted to something. I was just like, so you just did not answer your phone, you were not talking to anybody, you went off Snap, went off everywhere, and she came back and she was like, okay, now I have the agency to talk to you. And I was just like, who is this damn rude human being? You know? But I now went through my own journey. I met another person that was like, look, I was talking to this person, and the person said to me specifically, the only way I can be your friend is if you go and treat your trauma. That all your responses are trauma loaded. I'm like, what does that mean? She said that, she was like, every time I ask you a serious question, you're just laughing. She said, that's a trauma response. I was like, what does that mean? You know, and like you, Steph, also, I'd invested so much in people, and people just come and just, and like Steph, I refused to treat those injuries, and I just kept going until last year I crashed and I burnt. So like, Imoh, what was that like your breaking point in terms of like mentally, that had you been mentally aware to be like, look, my mental health is as important as my physical health or my emotional health? What was that point? Can you give us like a story, a brief story?
I actually did not even know that there was any issue because from 11, I was already volunteering. And like I said, I was teaching in public schools for free. I was doing stuff with orphanages. I was doing good stuff. I was Rockefeller without money.
That's the funniest.
You need to stop saying that shit. That shit kills me.
As I Rockefeller without money, I'll carry snacks and drinks to the children and stuff. And then this was when my parents were dying. And eventually, they both died. Mother's Day and Father's Day, they chose nice dates.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
March and June. March 30 and June 30. And that was like the breaking point. And at that time, I felt like the people that were around me were my friends. Now, not everybody is your friend. There's some people that you can work with. There are people that you're fond of. There are people that...
Your acquaintances.
Yeah, they're your acquaintances. They're people that you're fond of are not necessarily your friends. And they don't owe you some things. And you don't owe them some things.
Yeah.
What you owe one another is the love that God commanded all of us to have
Agape
for
love.
one another. Yep. In this life, that is all. So something happened. Like, I mean, if the person hears this thing, it's be like this one, she's still saying this thing. The person doesn't talk to me again. Like, it's only recently we see in public, we just say hi. But I carried this person on my chest like this, that this person, you're going to do well. I was just loving a human being, like, not eros or this platonic agape. In Jesus' name, my brother, love. And I pushed like, you should do this one. You should. I want to connect you to this person. This was before my parents died. I wanted to connect him to something that would make him be bigger. Now he's really big in the. And somebody wanted to work with me one time, and it's like this person and the person's partner said that they can't work with me on that project. So that means there are people here that are stopping me from eating food.
This is after you helped that person.
After I connected, let me not call it help. Because
No, we have to
because
say it
person
as
doesn't want
it
to
is.
see
You
it as
helped the
help.
person because
Like we removed our leg from here, entered the airport, went to one place, went to go and produce something. Whatever amount it was. I even made money from there and I even contributed to something else the person was supposed to do. We did it and the person did not release it because the person said that they had gone beyond that level. I'm like, oh wow. I'm not angry, but what I'm not happy about is that we're not cool again. There is no
Relationship.
and then if anybody complains around, if I cannot eat where that person is at the moment. The person might say, that's not the case. But that is the case. And how does that work with my mental health? It does not work very well. So now this is 2018, 2019, 2020 happens. No, 2019, I go for an audition because I sing, I do musicals. And the thing, I don't know what kind of thing was there. The woman said something. I wrote it in one of my Medium posts. Like sometimes I gossip with Medium. So if you want to see where I'm ranting about human beings, enter my Medium. So she said the director said something, well, pass you over, or pass you off. Something, Sha. I was so sad. I called Timi Dakolo that day. I was just crying that, do you know what? I'm tired. This said they did not like my voice here. I'm coming to do backup for you. He said, I think what you need is money. So he should have sent me money. Thanks, Timi Dakolo.
thank you, Timmy.
That's a sweet big brother. Hope you have not annoyed any of you.
No, Timmy is cool.
So he sent me some money. I just called my friends that road trip that I said we wanted to have, let's have it. Meanwhile, COVID was happening in Oyinbo people's country. And we met some of these Oyinbo people who were coughing while we were doing that road trip. So we went from Lagos to Cotonou to Ouidah back to Lomé. From Lomé to Accra, we did Afro Nation. Then we went to Côte d'Ivoire, Abidjan and Yamoussoukro. Then came back by road. So I calmed down. What I use in calming down nowadays is traveling. Whether it's by road or by air, I travel. Leave Nigeria, leave the place, just go somewhere else and just live. You can use a conference and all of that. You can use a conference to go and then you add some more days just to chill. So I use travel. And in 2020, when COVID started, before COVID started, I thought I had a big break. They called me to audition for the first Netflix original that we were going to have. Because I was not in the plan. They had already done photo shoots and stuff with people. Then they just brought me in a new character that they just introduced. I was happy. I said, God, thank you, finally. This is where I'm going to blow. This is where I'm going to blow, but it's coming.
Amen.
And COVID really happened and they stopped that project. They just said, everybody, sorry, we're going somewhere to further notice, and we never shot it. They eventually shot in South Africa. It's a show now called The Brave Ones. Same story. I was looking, I'm like, oh, see. I saw the character I would have played. I'm like, if it was in Nigeria, maybe it would have been different because the whole Orisha would have fit, the story would have fit the Nigerian culture and all of that. So we didn't get that. We didn't do that job. Everybody had to be at home. So this is me, who didn't get a job before I traveled. I'd already gone round, spent money on road trip, eating, drinking wine, feeling cool in other countries, and then back in Nigeria, no money, COVID, no job, nothing. And then somebody from a company that does mental health, that helps with the mental health, reached out. God actually sent my mental health to me. And that was how I started a process of 2.5 years, actually. So the first half was like free of charge. The next 2 years, I did not know I could pay monthly for
therapy.
But I was paying for therapy. And it helped me grow. That was how I knew how to separate human beings as they're connected to me. Yeah, I compartmentalized human beings. The people at the high space, the people at the medium space, and then the people at the lower space. You know, the people that you really love, but there's nothing they're giving to you.
Yeah.
You could just pretend like there's something there. They are almost useless. Forgive me. I mean, if you feel this way and you're listening to me, well, life is life. You're always pouring into them, but they're not conscious enough to pour back into you. Even if it's like, thank you, take this sweet and lick it, or, oh, I just wanted to check on you to know, hello, please, can you help me? Every time. And you're the one always pouring into them. It's always stressful. So I was able to compartmentalize. Until today, I'm pruning human beings. There's some people that I am not good for. I try to prune myself out of their lives because I'm not good for them. So sometimes when people share things like, oh, cut this person off, you to cut yourself out of somebody's life.
Yes,
you're not a necessity.
You get?
You're not a necessity in the person's life.
Bless you for that.
So I cut myself out of people's lives so that I'm not hindering where they're supposed to go to.
Yeah.
And I allow people fizzle out of my life because you're not helping me.
So that's interesting because last year I did a whole house cleaning, this compartmentalization, because I realized, like she said, Steph, is like you just keep pouring and pouring and people are not giving you back. And you know, one of the things you said was that for the life of me, I can't understand how I helped you in your journey and just a simple curtsy. It's not, because at this point, you're not just, I don't expect anything from you. Exactly.
You like, look back.
You're not even blocking where it's okay for you to say, you're not going to be on my project because I don't like the way you are so direct, or we have, personality clash. But like, you go and tell someone else and say, don't put that person on. That's wicked. You're a wicked person. People do that a lot in our industry. And that's the same for all the professional women I work with. It's like everybody knows their stuff. They've worked. You guys have worked so hard. You've done amazing work. You've done amazing work outside and inside. And you're where you are. And I don't think you should accept any.
And Archie's messaged me this morning. And he goes, Madam.
At what time?
At 12:28 a.m. in the middle of the night. Till now, he's awaiting a response from me. As per, I'm supposed to reply you, Oga. Or what?
What else is you see? Thank you so much, guys, for joining me on this conversation. And I hope, people picked something from there, because this topic is very dear to me, mental. And I wish you guys, the very best. I know we're going to do great things this year. It's going to be an amazing year.
Yes.
Because we're popping and we know what we're doing behind the scene.
Yes, so
thank you guys for joining us, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please take care of your mental health and your emotional health. Set boundaries. Be good. See a therapist. Buy Primaries if you need to. Just talk to your doctor and get the right prescription. Thank you, guys.
Alrighty.
And the future is female, guys.
Cheers.
Thank you to those guys.
Hey guys, my name is Stephanie Okocha. I am a music business manager, and I have just been on her creative journey with Foza.
Hi, my name is Fadehan Okpeseyi. I'm a music and PR executive, and I have just been on her creative journey with Foza.
Hi, my name is Imoh Eboh. You can call me Imoh Potato, as in sweet potato, the African one. Yes, deep-rooted. I have just been on her creative journey with Foza, sharing my creative journey. I hope you watch it. You should watch it, actually.